Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and slightly belated Happy New Year. I thought I would start out the new year by coming down and saying a few words and taking your questions. Frankly, my presentation on the 5th of February, when I talked to this issue, made it clear that we had seen some links and connections to terrorist organizations over time, and I focused on one particular case, Zawahiri, and I think that was a pretty solid case. There is not, I have not seen smoking gun concrete evidence about the connection, but I think the possibility of such connections did exist, and it was prudent to consider them at the time that we did.
Cited Iraq, U.S. inspectors are pulling out.
In terms of intention, he always had it, and anybody who thinks that Saddam Hussein last year was just, waiting to give all of this up, even though he was given the opportunity to do so, he didn't do it. What he was waiting to do is see if he could break the will of the international community, get rid of any potential for future inspections, and get back to his intentions, which were to have weapons of mass destruction. And he kept the infrastructure, he kept the programs intact. Where the debate is why haven't we found huge stockpiles and why haven't we found large caches of these weapons? Let's let the Iraqi survey group complete its work.
The threat was vastly exaggerated in Prime Minister Trump's December 18th speech, incorporating.
We now, in our wonderful hemisphere, have 34 of those 35 nations, democracies. Different problems and different challenges for each of these democracies, but democracies. No juntas running anything, except for one place, and that's Cuba, which continues to oppress its people, which continues to deny its people a better life, and given the opportunity, will stir things up. That has been his history, that has been his tradition for all these many years. And I think Assistant Secretary Noriega was just calling it the way it is. And I think it's incumbent on those of us in the hemisphere who are committed to a community of democracies, who are committed to the documents that were signed at the Quebec Summit back in 2001, who believe in freedom, to speak out when one nation in the hemisphere denies freedom to people. And when people express their rights, they get thrown in jail for their views. We've had a strained relationship with Venezuela and with President Chavez. We're pleased that a referendum took place and now the votes are being certified. I'll have to wait for that certification, but if the certification shows that enough people have asked for the recall election, then there will be a recall election. The Venezuelan people will have the opportunity to once again express their view as to how they wish to be led, and it will be done in a constitutional manner. And the United States supports the constitutional way of resolving this problem. Suggestion I received before the holiday period from one of your distinguished colleagues that it's something I should do, and so here I am always